Hey, soul seekers, it is intuitive energy healer Kathy Weiss here. I am coming to you live from my reading room on the central coast of California. And first of all, it is Wednesday, October 31st. So happy Halloween to you all. On Monday, during Monday messages, I kind of joked about, like, oh, maybe I should throw on a Halloween costume. But my husband and I recently moved, and all things Halloween are put away. So I did my best with, like, at least an orange scarf on the head and a little black and orange thing going on for you. But I will tell you this. Just as a fun little aside, if you follow me over there on Instagram at lightworker_Kathy, up there in my stories today, I did a little bit of a throwback to one of my favorite Halloween costumes of all time. So if you're watching this live or later within the next 24 hours, you can run over there and check out my favorite Halloween costume. But so let's get into today's bonus channeled message. And if you're watching a bonus channeled message for the first time, let me do just a really quickie on how that works for me so you understand what is about to happen. So when I sit still and I get really quiet and my mind moves into the place that is exactly like meditation, I'm able to hear from deep within, or whether this is coming from source energy. And I feel like deep within is source energy. They're one and the same thing. I start to hear words and phrases and sentences, which is clairaudience. I also see images, which is called clairvoyance. And because these flow through me very rapidly, I grab my straight up old school composition book and just start writing down what I'm seeing and hearing. And then when we go live together, I pretty much read this to you and throw in extra things that I'm hearing as we go through the message. And today, the question that I'm going to be answering is, what is the deal with overwhelm? So before I get into answering that for you, I just wanted you to see a little bit of energy that I brought in today. This is kind of like a rusty red colored guy, and it's very grounding. Although it goes with the second chakra, it's a little bit of a more rooted and grounded second chakra type stone, bringing back the orange from Monday messages this week. And I feel really strongly about the orange. Even when I put myself together today, I was like, I need to wear the orange scarf because there's just something about the creative energy of the second chakra that's really flowing pretty strongly out there for all of us right now. And then the other thing I want to say before I dive into the messages, as I was sitting here and clearing my energy and preparing for today's message, and I started thinking about what is the deal with overwhelm, and kind of just, reconnecting myself to the message I channeled this morning, all the lights in the house flickered, and I was like, oh my gosh, we are so right on track with today's message. So I'm way super stoked, and let's dive in. Okay, so what is the deal with overwhelm? First of all, we all know that feeling, right? When all of a sudden it's like there is too much going on in our lives, there's too much to do, and we don't know where to go first or how to handle it all. And we start freaking out. And if you're like me, there might be some tears flowing when overwhelm really starts to sink in. So, first of all, the first thing I got was this image in my mind of a giant plate of food. And I thought, oh my God, this is so perfect for the time of year that we're in, because we're coming up to Thanksgiving in the United States in a few weeks, which is really a time when a lot of people sit down and have these very lovely, luxurious, like gorgeous meals with a lot of food. And the thing is, like, from January 1st to November 1st, we're all like, we got a lot going on. And then all of a sudden, from like November 1st to January 1st, especially in the United States, the way our holidays line up is like we got like extra overload on top of all of that. So this image of the plate of food is so excellent. Um, and it's sort of like you're looking at this plate and it is full of awesome, delicious food. And overwhelm is thinking you have to pick that plate up and dump it all into your mouth at the same time. And then I totally saw the image. This is great for today too, because I saw the image of that green blobby guy from Ghostbusters, that blob thing that grabs the whole tray of hot dogs and like shoves the whole tray of hot dogs down his throat. And I'm like, that's what overwhelm feels like. because we're like, number one, my mouth can't open that big. How am I supposed to eat all of this at one time? Or number two, if I do open my mouth that big, it's going to like totally kill my jaw and I'm going to be in so much pain. And then I'm going to swallow this giant plate of food and it's all going to be in my belly and give me like a terrible upset stomach. And I'm going to feel sick and gross and disgusting. And so, oh my God, I can't deal. What's the point of doing all of this anyway? That is overwhelm. Okay, so now I'm going to just jump back into my notes and make sure I stick with the message as I channeled it this morning. So our lives are full. We know that. The plates that we're eating from are full. And there is an increasing pressure in our world today to fill every second of our time as though that would validate our existence and show the world that we matter. Even to the point where the things that we do in the name of, for example, self-care or self-improvement are adding to the overwhelm and this feeling of like, needing to fill all the time. Like, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed because I'm training for this marathon right now. Oh, I'm so overwhelmed because I'm doing a yoga teacher training, or I'm so overwhelmed because I'm taking this course. And again, this is like that need to fill all your time with something productive, and to prove to other people that you're living a rich, full, exciting, and interesting life. So, oh, okay, and here's the other piece, just so I stay on track. Whether you're married or single or have children or don't have children, everyone is living these full types of lives right now, okay? And with everyone, I know we're generalizing, but this is the message. And so number one, the hint is to stop comparing your overwhelm to other people's overwhelm. Like, well, I've got children and she doesn't, so she doesn't get it. Or I am working on a master's degree right now, so you just clearly don't understand that working full time and a master's degree is just like killing me or whatever. Like, so stop comparing. Everyone's life is really societally right now a lot going on. Okay, so you've got this full plate, and the green Ghostbusters guy, like, right, just chugging down all the hot dogs. And here's the thing. When you look at this giant plate full of stuff to do, eat one thing at a time. It's really that easy, you guys. You don't even have to finish the thing that you're eating, and I will get away from that analogy in a moment, so hang with me. But just choose one. So, like, for example, if you're on a phone call with somebody, be on that phone call and don't let your eyes be poking over there to email and trying to answer the email while you're on the phone call in the name of saving time, because you won't attend to either task with your full attention. Or sit down and pay your bills, but then go ahead and take your kids to their activities and come back to balance the checkbook later, right? But it's really a matter of like choosing to do this thing that you're doing right now, and know that right now, because you're doing this one thing, it doesn't serve you to be freaking out about the other things that need to be done, because there will always be things to be done. That's the lives that we're living. And these are not unique new adult lives. I mean, even back in like, think like hunter-gatherer agricultural type lives, women and men had to still get up and make the food and grow the food and tend to the food and hunt the food and make the clothes and raise the babies. It's not like their lives were any less full. They were just full of different things, okay? So I'm being asked to give you an example from my own life. Not, again, as this is an all about me show, but to give you some context into how you can choose to focus one thing at a time, one thing at a time. So like right up until about 10 minutes before I sat down with you guys, I was preparing for Halloween date night and throwing things into the crock pot. And if you could smell it, y'all, right now there is like a coconut pumpkin curry thing going on over there. Amazing. But like I was like literally scrambling, like, okay, I'm gonna finish this right now so that it can be in and I can get myself cleaned up. And now I'm here with you. And all I'm doing right now is talking with you guys. I'm not planning on what's next. I'm not thinking about the fact that I really need to take my car to the wash. or that there's a load of laundry that needs to be taken care of. I'm just doing this video with you. And when I get done with that, then I'll worry about downloading it here so I can upload it to YouTube, etc. It's like just doing this one thing at a time. Okay, just peeking back at my notes again to keep us on track. So, focus. The deal with overwhelm is a little bit that you have lost focus and you're looking at this giant plate of things to do rather than focusing on the one task that you're on in this moment. And if there's nothing you can do about the other stuff in this moment, it doesn't serve you to be thinking about and freaking out about it unless you are productively planning. For example, let's say your car needs a repair, and in the moment what you're doing is researching trustworthy mechanics to take it to. Then that's being productive. But if you're just like, oh my God, and I'm trying to I don't know, answer this email, but I'm worried about my car. And plus, by the way, I quit my job and I'm trying to find a new job. And like, that's like, stop and focus. And so if you're really struggling with this, then here's what you do. Hang on, I'm going to back up 1 second. Okay, there will always be more, which is why one thing at a time and all things in succession. And when you're really overwhelmed, this is so funny. This part of the message cracked me up. If you're really overwhelmed and you're looking at your big plate of food, there's a really big chance that your plate of food is full of all of your least favorite vegetables, right? If you're overwhelmed with the tasks that are before you, chances are it's because you are not excited about those tasks. Because I promise you, if you had a big ginormous day ahead of you and it was full of like all things that you love and things that are fun, you wouldn't be feeling overwhelmed. You'd be feeling stoked, right? So there's kind of like that little bit of humor in recognizing that overwhelm is partially tied to looking at a whole bunch of tasks that perhaps you're not necessarily super excited about. Okay, so when this feeling arises, here's the guidance and the practical things that you can do. When the feeling arises, stop, stand still, and just say out loud, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Because the moment you acknowledge it, you recognize your feelings and your behavior, which is valid, by the way. There's nothing invalid about feeling overwhelmed. It's just taking that pause to really recognize it. And if you need to take some deep breaths or go take a little nap, or if you're like me, you need to cry for 5 minutes and just kind of like get a reset, awesome, do that. Then you're going to say out loud again, and this is very powerful, so listen carefully. What you're going to say out loud is, time expands for me. Right? Hear that and really think about it. Time expands for me. The moment you stop spinning and freaking out and you take a breath and you say, time expands for me, magic happens. It's like all of a sudden, all the things that you needed to do get done. And chances are they get done with time to spare. And all of the important things, the ones that are like really urgent or that really matter, will get done. And sometimes there may be things left over for later, and that's fine, because again, part of this message was there's always going to be things to do. And so the world will not stop spinning. I love that so much. The world will not stop spinning if there is unfinished laundry. Know what I'm saying? Okay, so one thing at a time, all things in succession, and time expands for me. That's the real key heart of this message. I'm going to read it again to you nice and clear. One thing at a time, all things in succession, time expands for me. This part of the message is complete, and your guides love you so much. I'm going to super fast pull a card from the Mother Mary Oracle deck just to support this. And it's going to be just a little quickie. And then I'm going to peek down and see if anybody has any comments. I'm finding that sometimes the comments distract me. So don't think I'm ignoring you. If you commented to me, I will get with you in just a second. And the card that I pulled out today is Our Lady of Sacred Union. Does anybody else feel like this is really familiar? I feel like I've seen her very recently, and it's quite possible I pulled her for myself, if not for you guys. And the thing that I'm always drawn to with this card is that beautiful owl residing like right at her heart, because the wisdom of the universe and the wisdom of ourselves is really, it resides within our heart, guys. We know for sure that the heart processes emotions, and it actually processes more emotions than your brain. And there's a term called the heart brain, and that your heart has a wisdom and a guiding light and a force in your life that is so much good. And it is our, not job, the word that's coming to me is our opportunity. It's our opportunity to connect in and live our lives from source and from that wisdom that is both ours, internal, and that which flows from the greater energy of the universe. And so when we tie that into thinking about overwhelm deep in your heart, you know that the truth is it's all going to get done. Or maybe some of it's not going to get done, and perhaps that is not the end of the world, and that your value as a human being has absolutely nothing to do with whether or not all of your daily tasks get done every day, because sometimes we do and sometimes we don't, and that doesn't make us unworthy human beings or unproductive human beings. I promise you are all so incredibly productive, it's ridiculous. And maybe taking a moment to like acknowledge and appreciate yourself for how much you really do in your life can also help ease and soothe the feelings of overwhelm. Let's peek into the guidebook and pull one lovely healing and supportive snippet and wrap up today's message. She says, Our Lady of Sacred Union shows up when we are working on finding a way through opposition and disharmony into integration and functional behavior. Wow. Okay, right there. Overwhelm is the disharmony that's arising within you, and integration and functional behavior is exactly doing what this message invited you to do. Stop, take a breath, focus on one thing at a time, and know that time can expand for you, and that you are capable of finishing all of your tasks with time to spare. Such a beautiful, gorgeous, loving message. I am hoping that it helped you guys. I'm going to real quick pop over here and scroll down and see if any more comments popped up during the live feed, but I'm not seeing any right now. I could be dorking it up. Sometimes, guys, when I work from my laptop, I don't know, get a little retarded. But anyway, not retarded, but you know what I mean? I just like, sometimes I stumble. I'm so grateful for those of you who tuned in live, or if you watch this later and you have questions or comments, throw them down there for me. And as a reminder, if you missed it, happy Halloween. Go over to Instagram at lightworker_Kathy and visit my stories where I've got my favorite Halloween costume of all time up there posted for you guys to see. I will see you next Monday for a free live intuitive reading. And also, if you have any questions or big topics that you would like a bonus channel message on, please shoot them over to me. I've already got 2 more lined up behind this one, but we could just line them up onto infinity and, you know, help spread healing messages and love and guidance to the world. I love you all. I will see you again very soon. Namaste. Bye. Bye twice.